We've all heard the advice: be grateful, stay present, think positive. And sure, it sounds good. But when you're standing in the middle of real life, deadlines, self-doubt, family stress, that quiet weight on your chest, it can all feel impossibly out of reach. So here's the honest truth. Happiness isn't something you hear about and suddenly feel. It's something you practice, like a muscle, like music, like breath. Harvard psychologist Tal Ben-Shahar, who taught one of the most sought-after courses on happiness in history, puts it simply: the best ideas are meaningless if we don't put them into action. We've already explored what happiness is, and we've looked at the invisible traps that hold us back, the hedonic treadmill, the expectation gap, and the illusion of more. But now comes the turning point, the real work, and, honestly, the real gift. This video is about implementation, the small daily habits, backed by research, proven by real lives, that slowly, steadily rewire how you feel, how you connect, and how you show up for the life you already have. You'll hear from modern experts like Cassie Holmes, Arthur Brooks, Tia Graham, Laurie Santos, Jacqueline Way, and of course, Tony Robbins and Tal Ben-Shahar. And we'll also weave in timeless truths from ancient philosophers, people who knew that joy isn't found in the extraordinary, but in how we meet the ordinary. What if the richest moments of your life were already here, just waiting for you to notice them? Let's find out together. Before we dive into the practices, let's talk about the mental soil, where joy grows. Because without the right mindset, even the best strategies will feel hollow. These mindsets aren't clichés, they're cornerstones, tested by research, lived by thousands, and surprisingly, often forgotten in the rush of modern life. Number 1. Permission to be human, by Tal Ben-Shahar. Let's start with what might be the most radical idea in this entire series. You don't have to feel good all the time to build a joyful life. Tal Ben-Shahar calls this permission to be human. It means honoring your full emotional range: sadness, anxiety, anger, not as enemies, but as signals. Think about this. When a storm hits, we don't scream at the clouds. We don't judge the thunder. But we do that with ourselves. Why am I still anxious? What's wrong with me for feeling this way? Tal argues that emotional repression leads to deeper unhappiness. And research backs this up. Suppressed emotions don't disappear, they metastasize. So the first shift: stop judging your emotions. Instead, learn to sit with them, kindly, curiously. That's where the real healing begins. Choosing joy, Tony Robbins and Tia Graham. Joy isn't passive. It's not a lucky accident or the reward of the privileged. It's a choice, sometimes a hard one. Tony Robbins reminds us, you can be happy even when life isn't perfect, because life is never perfect. And Tia Graham tells the story of her father, a man who lost his career, his health, and even close relationships. But every day, he still found something to smile about. He chose joy, not because life gave him reasons, but because he gave himself permission. The takeaway: joy isn't always a spark. Sometimes, it's a quiet decision you make at the beginning of the day. Managing wants. Arthur Brooks offers a powerful formula for satisfaction. Satisfaction is equal to what you have divided by what you want. Most people focus on increasing what they have, but happiness doesn't come from a bigger numerator. It comes from reducing the denominator, your wants. Brooks recommends the reverse bucket list. Instead of writing what you want to do, write down what you've already done, seen, felt, and survived. You'll be surprised how full your life already is. And the Dalai Lama once said, "Want what you have, not have what you want." There's a quiet kind of power in that. State of mind over status. Tal Ben-Shahar. Another mental trap we fall into is this: once I reach that milestone, then I'll feel good. Ben-Shahar's research shows that external conditions, once your basic needs are met, have surprisingly little long-term impact on happiness. What matters more, how you interpret setbacks, how you respond to daily annoyances, the story you tell yourself when things go wrong. He encourages us to reframe failure, not as defeat, but as data. Life isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about learning how to make meaning from it. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said it simply: people are disturbed, not by things, but by the views they take of them. You can't always control the event, but you can always shape the meaning. Self-compassion. Laurie Santos and Christine Neff. Be kind to yourself, not as a reward for perfection, but as a necessity for growth. Dr. Christine Neff, a pioneer in self-compassion research, outlines 3 pillars. Mindfulness. See your pain clearly, without exaggeration or suppression. Common humanity. Remind yourself that pain is universal. You are not alone. Self-kindness. Speak to yourself the way you would a friend, warmly, gently, with belief in their healing. And Laurie Santos notes that self-compassion outperforms self-esteem in predicting emotional resilience. Why? Because self-esteem says, I must be better. Self-compassion says, I'm worthy, even when I'm not at my best. So if you're going to build joy, start by softening the voice in your head. We've talked about mindset. Now let's talk about where to invest your energy, because just like a portfolio, your life has assets and liabilities. And Arthur Brooks, in his research at Harvard, discovered something crucial. We spend too much of our lives chasing things that don't make us happy and neglecting the ones that do. He calls them the bad 4. Money, power, pleasure, fame. They promise joy, but over time, they become emotional junk food, spiking our dopamine, crashing our peace. So what does bring lasting joy? Brooks identifies the good 4. Think of them as your core well-being nutrients. 1. Faith. Something bigger than you. This doesn't have to mean religion. It means transcendence, connecting to something beyond your ego. That might be walking under ancient trees, or reading philosophy, or meditating, or simply reminding yourself, this life is not just about me. Faith softens narcissism. It expands perspective. It makes joy feel more earned, and suffering feel less meaningless. 2. Family. The unbreakable ties. Family is messy. It tests us, frustrates us, breaks our hearts, but it also roots us. Marriage and children, when nurtured intentionally, contribute to long-term happiness, even if they reduce momentary pleasure. The Roman philosopher Seneca wrote, "No man can live happily who regards himself alone." When we invest in family, we invest in memory, continuity, and belonging. 3. Friendship. Your chosen tribe. Arthur Brooks differentiates between real friends and deal friends. Deal friends, like you, for what you can offer. Real friends, like you, for who you are. We all need more useless people in our lives. People who want nothing from us but connection. Make time for them. They are your emotional immune system. 4. Work, dignity and service. Meaningful work isn't about status. It's about 2 things: earning success through effort, creativity, persistence, serving others, knowing that what you do makes someone's life better. When those 2 combine, your work becomes more than a paycheck. It becomes part of your identity and a source of pride. So ask yourself, are you pouring your energy into the good 4, or stuck chasing the bad ones, hoping this time they'll satisfy? What you water grows, so water wisely. Now it's time to shift from mindsets to micro practices, the daily doable actions, but quietly but powerfully raise your baseline of well-being. These are science-backed, and more importantly, they're human. Number 1, cultivate social connection. Human connection isn't a luxury. It's a biological necessity. It's the number 1 predictor of happiness, longevity, and emotional resilience. The Harvard Grant study, Happiness is Love. Prioritize quality time, date nights, tech-free dinners, 20-minute playtime with kids. These aren't luxuries, they're investments. If it's not scheduled, it won't happen. Micro connections. Say good morning to your neighbor. Compliment a stranger. Nobody waves first, but everybody waves back. Connection begins with small risks. Be known, not just validated. In relationships, don't just seek validation, seek to be known. Let people see the messy, imperfect, curious you. That's where intimacy lives. Number 2, practice gratitude and savoring. Gratitude isn't just saying thanks. It's training your brain to notice what's already good. Gratitude journaling. Don't just say coffee. Say the steam curling off the mug in morning silence. That detail matters. It deepens the experience. Savoring the present. Imagine forest bathing without a forest. Smell the food. Notice the light. Soak in the laughter. Savoring helps us overcome hedonic adaptation. Counting times left. If you're 35 and see your mum monthly, you don't have 30 years of coffee left. You might have 15 visits. This makes time precious and presence. Number 3, be other-oriented. Give. Giving activates the helper's high. Same chemicals as love and joy. Start small. Give hugs. Pick up trash. Write notes. Daily giving builds self-worth. Optimism. Resilience. Time affluence hack. Giving time makes people feel like they have more time. Strange, but true. You don't need hours, just intention. Number 4, mind-body connection. Exercise, not exercising, is like taking a depressant. Movement boosts cognition, confidence, and resilience. Meditation and mindfulness. Even 10 minutes a day lowers cortisol, reduces anxiety, improves empathy. Brush your mind. Sleep. Sleep is your brain's reset button. No joy practice works without it. Number 5, simplify. Busyness is the new badge of honor, but it's killing our joy. Do less, not more. Say no. Cancel something. Create white space. It's not laziness. It's mental clarity. Make time to reflect. Mandela, Thoreau, J.P. Morgan. They scheduled time to think. If you want your life to mean something, you need time to actually notice it. You've heard the insights. You've seen the tools. But here's where the real shift begins. Tal Ben-Shahar says, happiness is not about intensity. It's about consistency. This is where rituals come in. Rituals aren't routines you have to do. They're sacred actions you choose to do. Not because they're urgent, but because they're essential. Just like brushing your teeth protects your smile. These small, intentional habits protect your mind, your heart, your relationships. Start tiny. 1 gratitude entry before bed. A morning walk without your phone. A 10-minute call with someone who matters. Over time, these actions create momentum. They become your emotional architecture. The quiet strength you build before the storm comes. And here's the good news. You don't need to overhaul your life. Small steps compound. 1 small act of presence. 1 moment of kindness. 1 deep breath. They ripple out. They shift your mood. Then your day. Then your life. Because happiness doesn't arrive all at once. It's not a lightning bolt. It's a lantern you light. Again and again. Until your whole path glows. So, what have we learned? That joy is not a reward for those who hustle hardest. It's not a product you buy. It's not something reserved for the lucky or the healed. It's something you build with intention, patience, and courage. And you build it through deepening connection, practicing gratitude and savoring, giving, serving, showing up for others, honoring your body with movement, rest, reflection, and above all, treating yourself with compassion and honesty. Jacqueline Way reminds us, happy children grow into happy adults. Happy adults build a happier world. Tia Graham imagines a future where leaders, parents, teachers don't just teach happiness, they embody it. And Laurie Santos proves with her research. Happier people are not only more successful, they're kinder, more generous, more connected. Your happiness isn't selfish, it's a public service. It creates a ripple that travels through your family, your community, and your future self. Final reflection. So let me leave you with this question. What's one small habit you can begin today? Not because you should, but because you're worth the joy it brings. Write it down. Start small and keep going. Because when you choose joy, you don't just change your life, you help repair the world. And as you close this video, remember, joy is not waiting somewhere far away. It's already in your hands, quiet but alive, asking to be chosen again and again. We'll be here, walking this path with you. Thank you for letting us into your day. You are watching Psychosophy, where psychology meets philosophy.